Hey everyone, tonight we're diving into the surprisingly busy and sometimes downright ridiculous life of Paleolithic humans. So, what did cavemen actually do all day? Turns out it wasn't all dramatic rock smashing or fire discovery montages. Joining us, fictionally of course, imagine MrBeast quietly overseeing fireside tasks, PewDiePie softly sketching humorous cave drawings, Markiplier narrating evening tales by firelight, Dude Perfect handling hunts with impossible precision, Ryan from Ryan's World exploring curious finds, and Khaby Lame silently offering practical solutions. Before you settle in completely, feel free to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy our time together. And please, let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from and what time it is there. It's always delightful to see our global community. Now, dim the lights, maybe switch on a fan for that gentle hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. A typical caveman morning started early, sometimes even before dawn. Picture yourself waking up slowly, nestled on a simple bed of animal hides, perhaps with a soft layer of dried grass or leaves beneath. This wasn't exactly memory foam, but surprisingly cozy nonetheless. You'd be close to the communal fire, not for the cozy ambience, but purely out of practical necessity. The flickering flames kept the cold and insects away, creating a reassuring, steady glow in the darkness. Mornings were often quiet, punctuated only by the gentle crackling of the fire or occasional coughs and rustling of those nearby. Someone reliable, like MrBeast, would often wake first, carefully stoking the embers back into life. This wasn't a quick process, it involved patience and steady hands. Losing the fire meant starting over from scratch, and no one wanted to spend precious morning hours rubbing sticks together in frustration. As others woke, you'd likely hear the soft chatter and murmurs of early risers preparing for the day's tasks. PewDiePie might already be awake, softly chuckling to himself as he added whimsical touches to humorous cave paintings, perhaps capturing amusing anecdotes from yesterday's escapades. Children typically woke next, full of energy and curiosity. Ryan, brimming with enthusiasm even in prehistoric mornings, would set out immediately, finding fascinating objects to bring back. Colorful stones, peculiar twigs, or perhaps insects that seemed unusually friendly. Adults would quietly smile, patiently guiding him away from things that shouldn't be touched. Then came tool checking, a critical morning ritual. Spears, knives, scrapers, all the necessary instruments for survival required regular maintenance. Someone like Khaby Lame might silently demonstrate the most efficient way to sharpen a spearhead or tighten bindings, communicating with clear, exaggerated gestures to ensure tools remained reliable and safe. Meanwhile, Markiplier would calmly move about, gathering firewood or softly outlining plans for the group's daily tasks, his soothing voice easing others into wakefulness. At the same time, Dude Perfect would quietly and methodically plan the day's hunt, confidently mapping strategies that ensured both food and safety for everyone involved. Breakfast was rarely a leisurely meal. Usually it was an exercise in creative foraging or revisiting yesterday's leftovers, if there were any. Foraging groups would slowly set out, scanning for edible plants, berries or roots. They'd move quietly, attentively, each step measured carefully. This calm, structured yet gently humorous routine laid the groundwork for survival. Every morning was a fresh opportunity, filled with quiet preparation and subtle optimism. It was a beautifully mundane cycle, reminding us how even thousands of years ago, humans sought comfort, security, and a gentle start to the day. Now, waking up in the Paleolithic era wasn't exactly stepping out of bed and into a refreshing morning shower. Cleanliness existed, sure, but in ways you'd probably find unusual today. Hygiene was practical, not aesthetic. After all, smelling like fresh daisies wasn't a survival priority. Bathing depended heavily on the season and the surroundings. If you were lucky enough to have a nearby stream, and brave enough to handle its often chilly temperature, you might dip in quickly, washing away layers of dirt and sweat. But during colder times, cleaning up usually involved simpler methods, like rubbing handfuls of sand or leaves over your body. Surprisingly, a rare luxury was animal fat. It might sound strange, but fat not only helped scrub dirt away, but also added an extra layer of protection against insects and the elements. Khaby Lame, always practical, would probably demonstrate this quietly, shaking his head at anyone using ineffective methods, showing the simplest and most efficient way with his humorous gestures. He made even hygiene look straightforward and oddly satisfying. Teeth required their own special attention. Though toothbrushes were thousands of years away, cavemen chewed fibrous sticks, bones, or even tough pieces of hide to help remove food particles. Tooth decay wasn't common, as diets lacked sugary treats, but dental wear from gritty foods and tough meats was prevalent. Hair care was minimal, often reduced to tying long strands back or simply ignoring them. Lice were a reality everyone dealt with quietly. Some attempted treatments with ash, dirt, or oils, while others resigned themselves to scratching discreetly and hoping for the best. PewDiePie might have humorously illustrated these struggles in his cave paintings, depicting exaggerated versions of villagers scratching wildly. Clothing didn't exactly improve hygiene standards either. Animal hides weren't breathable or regularly washed. If the garments began smelling, people either adapted to the scent or jokingly blamed the person sitting nearest to the fire. Feet faced a similar struggle. Shoes made from hides were practical but hardly fresh. Still, despite these challenges, early humans adapted remarkably well. Their immune systems were robust, and their communities instinctively understood enough about cleanliness to keep major outbreaks at bay. In the Paleolithic world, hygiene wasn't glamorous, but it was efficient, practical, and occasionally humorous. It ensured survival and comfort in small, essential ways, shaping daily routines gently and unobtrusively. So while their methods may make modern eyes widen, there was undeniable ingenuity and humor in how cavemen approached cleanliness. Breakfast during the Paleolithic era wasn't about leisurely sipping coffee or neatly plated avocado toast. Instead, mornings brought uncertainty and a daily quest to find enough nourishment to sustain the group. Imagine waking up, eyes immediately scanning the area, hoping to spot leftover dried meat from yesterday's hunt. Finding even a small piece would be a stroke of luck, like winning the prehistoric lottery. But more often, breakfast involved heading out to forage, carefully searching the landscape for edible treasures. Foraging wasn't just wandering around aimlessly, it required knowledge, patience, and a keen eye. Elders and experienced gatherers would lead the way, pointing out subtle differences between nutritious roots and their poisonous lookalikes. It was a daily lesson in trust, instinct, and survival. Ryan would be especially enthusiastic, darting about and eagerly presenting various finds, often sparking gentle laughter and patient explanations from his more cautious companion. The choices varied greatly with the seasons. Spring brought fresh greens and tender shoots, while summer offered juicy berries and ripe fruits. Each discovery celebrated quietly but genuinely. Autumn's nuts and seeds were carefully collected, stored and rationed, knowing winter's harshness was never far away. Foraging was methodical, thoughtful, and quietly rewarding. Protein was trickier. Small creatures like rabbits or birds could be caught if luck was on your side. Insects, though less appealing, were abundant and nutritious. Finding a termite mound or a cache of grubs meant a reliable, if unconventional, meal. Despite initial reluctance, everyone understood that protein was precious, and those crunchy insects soon became part of the daily routine. Water was equally crucial, gathered from streams, rivers, or small pools. Purification wasn't an option, so knowing clean sources was vital. Khaby, ever practical, might silently demonstrate simple methods for scooping water with makeshift containers, avoiding unnecessary splashes and spills, earning appreciative nods from the group. Occasionally, food supplies from previous hunts, smoked meats, dried strips of animal hide, or marrow-filled bones, provided essential calories. Such treats were carefully hidden away to protect them from ambitious scavengers like raccoons, or curious children armed with sticks. Sharing food wasn't merely generosity, it was survival. Those who returned from foraging with handfuls of berries or caught small game were respected, their contributions gently acknowledged with grateful nods and quiet words of thanks. Breakfast was communal, the act of eating together reinforcing bonds and mutual reliance. Yet breakfast was also unpredictable. Sometimes the foraging groups returned empty-handed, prompting quiet reassurances and quick adjustments to the day's plans. No one panicked or complained openly. Adaptability was essential. Markiplier might calmly remind everyone of past triumphs, his soothing voice maintaining a comforting sense of optimism. In the Paleolithic world, breakfast wasn't guaranteed, but it always symbolized hope, community, and resilience. These early morning searches quietly defined daily life, each successful forage gently reinforcing the group's strength, trust, and unity. Once breakfast concluded, or was reluctantly skipped, the next critical part of the Paleolithic day was all about tools. Maintaining and crafting these essential survival instruments was far more nuanced than simply banging rocks together. Tools were the lifeline, and caring for them was an essential daily ritual. Picture the scene. Quiet groups gathering, hunched thoughtfully over carefully selected stones. Flint or obsidian were favored for their predictable sharpness, but any suitable rock would suffice when necessity called. Chipping away at stone required careful, precise taps. It was delicate, almost meditative. Despite its importance, Khaby Lame, naturally practical, would silently demonstrate efficient techniques, exaggerated yet clear gestures guiding newcomers. His expressive faces humorously highlighted the mistakes others often made, gently reminding everyone of simpler, better methods. Common tools included spears, knives, scrapers and axes, each serving specific tasks. Spears for hunting, scrapers for hides, knives for carving and butchery, all carefully crafted and lovingly maintained. Dull tools weren't just inconvenient, they posed genuine dangers. A blunt spearhead or scraper could cause accidents or worse, fail precisely when needed most. Sharpening edges became a comforting routine. The rhythmic scraping sound echoed softly through the camp, providing a strangely soothing backdrop to daily life. Occasionally, PewDiePie might pause from his cave paintings, humorously sketching exaggerated depictions of failed tool-making attempts, causing quiet chuckles around the fire. When tools inevitably broke, it was frustrating but accepted calmly, just part of the rhythm of survival. Recrafting began immediately, patiently, quietly, without complaint. Markiplier's steady voice would reassure and encourage, his presence turning setbacks into opportunities for learning. Craftsmanship earned respect. Someone adept at crafting perfect spear tips or balanced axes was quietly admired. These experts generously shared skills, gently guiding others, fostering an environment of mutual support. MrBeast, ever generous, often praised these skilled members, quietly ensuring everyone felt valued. Sometimes creativity sparked innovation. Bones and antlers emerged as versatile materials. Flexible, lightweight, and easier to handle, these new tools signified progress, quietly celebrated by everyone around the campfire. In Paleolithic life, tools symbolize survival, creativity, and community. Each chip and flake of stone gently reminded everyone of their resilience, ingenuity, and adaptability. Maintaining these instruments was a daily testament to patience and skill, a calm, steady practice woven seamlessly into the fabric of everyday prehistoric existence. With tools prepared, the focus shifted naturally to the day's central event, the hunt. This wasn't the exaggerated, chaotic chase often depicted. Rather, it was thoughtful, strategic, and cooperative. Picture Dude Perfect calmly leading preparations, mapping out meticulous strategies that balanced safety, efficiency, and precision. Large game, such as mammoths or wild bison, offered significant rewards, but carried considerable risks. Careful planning was critical. Scouts would silently observe herds, noting patterns and behaviors. Their quiet observations laid the groundwork for effective strategies. Hunts required teamwork, precise timing, and carefully rehearsed roles. The hunt began quietly, hunters moving silently across familiar landscapes. Dude Perfect's members might softly gesture, indicating positions and tactics, their calm confidence reassuring everyone involved. Traps were set with practiced ease, carefully designed to funnel prey toward waiting hunters, where precision spear throws became crucial. Smaller game like deer or rabbits required different skills, subtle tracking and stealthy ambushes. These quieter hunts involved patient waiting and sharp eyes, every movement carefully controlled. Khaby Lame might humorously demonstrate the perfect silent step, exaggeratedly tiptoeing to laughter muffled by necessity. Despite careful planning, hunts could quickly change. An unexpected sound or shift in the wind could alert prey, transforming a quiet pursuit into sudden, controlled action. Quick thinking, adaptability, and communication were essential. Yet, even then, movements remained measured and deliberate. Their deliberate return to camp signified quiet celebration or gentle disappointment. Successful hunts were silently respected, their participants admired for providing vital sustenance. MrBeast might quietly organize distribution, ensuring fairness and harmony. Meanwhile, unsuccessful hunts weren't met with criticism, but gentle reassurances from Markiplier, his soothing voice reminding everyone that tomorrow was another chance. The hunt was more than a pursuit of food. It symbolized unity, patience, and shared purpose. It reinforced bonds, built trust, and honed skills vital for survival. In the Paleolithic world, the hunt wasn't frantic. It was steady, methodical, and gently persistent, a carefully choreographed dance between humans and nature. As hunters left to track prey, another crucial task began: gathering. Often overshadowed by hunting, gathering was equally essential, and more reliably successful. Quiet groups composed of elders, women, and children spread out through familiar terrain, carefully examining plants, berries, roots, and seeds. Each gatherer possessed intimate knowledge of the environment, gently developed over generations. Ryan's curiosity shone brightest here, eagerly investigating plants and berries, sometimes needing gentle redirection from experienced gatherers. Ensuring he learned safely and steadily, gatherers memorized terrain intricately, noting which trees bore fruit, which bushes held nutritious berries, and where edible mushrooms reliably appeared. Knowledge was silently passed down, a calm but powerful legacy ensuring the tribe's survival. Not everything discovered was edible. Some plants, deceptively beautiful, yet dangerously toxic. Identifying safe options required careful observation and meticulous caution. Khaby Lame, with his silent humor, often demonstrated exaggerated reactions to tasting the wrong berry, subtly teaching younger gatherers through playful yet practical gestures. Gathering also involved multitasking. While searching for food, groups collected firewood, medicinal herbs, and materials for tools and shelters. Efficiency was key, and each outing balanced careful exploration with practical collection. Competition for resources occasionally arose, not just with other humans, but animals too. Birds, squirrels, and even bears often targeted the same bounty. Encountering wildlife was a careful negotiation. Gatherers moved cautiously, quietly, understanding nature's delicate balance. Foraging wasn't without occasional mishaps. Stepping into hidden wasp nests or disturbing ant colonies provided quiet, humorous tales, retold around evening fires. PewDiePie would undoubtedly sketch these moments amusingly, capturing the playful essence of daily survival. Yet gatherers provided consistency hunters couldn't always guarantee. Even when hunts failed, gatherers reliably returned with something edible, their quiet triumph sustaining the group. Markiplier's calm voice might praise their steady contributions, reinforcing their value and quiet heroism. Gathering fostered unity, cooperation, and resilience. Each berry picked, root unearthed, and nut collected quietly reinforced communal bonds. Gatherers' careful, thoughtful work ensured sustenance, stability, and comfort, forming a gentle daily rhythm crucial to Paleolithic survival. As the gatherers returned and hunters regrouped, another essential task quietly demanded attention: fire management and shelter building. Fire was central to survival, providing warmth, safety, and a comforting glow after sundown. Keeping it burning steadily was a serious, ongoing responsibility, often quietly overseen by someone as reliable as MrBeast. Maintaining the fire required constant vigilance and gentle patience. Fuel needed careful selection, dry branches, bark, and animal dung carefully gathered and stored. Children, including Ryan, often helped collect kindling, bringing back various finds, occasionally needing subtle corrections from the adults when items weren't suitable. Khaby Lame might humorously illustrate, through silent yet clear demonstrations, exactly what constituted perfect fuel. Starting a fire from scratch was arduous, involving friction methods like hand drilling or bow drilling sticks together. A momentary lapse could mean hours spent rekindling embers. To prevent this, many tribes carried glowing coals wrapped carefully in moss or bark when moving locations, a delicate task entrusted only to the calmest hands. Shelters, too, were crucial, but far simpler than modern homes. Prehistoric shelters were functional, built to protect against harsh weather, predators, and insects, using whatever materials nature provided: branches, animal hides, grasses, mud, and sometimes mammoth bones. People worked together, calmly yet purposefully, creating simple structures that effectively provided basic comfort and safety. Building shelters was a cooperative effort. Markiplier's reassuring voice would softly encourage the group, while Khaby might silently demonstrate efficient methods of securing bindings or layering materials. PewDiePie humorously documented the process, sketching exaggerated yet relatable depictions of collapsed huts or successful builds. Weather-dictated shelter design. Warm summer huts were airy, while winter shelters were sturdy, insulated with layered hides and packed earth. Occasionally, structures required quick adjustments due to unforeseen circumstances, like sudden storms or unanticipated wildlife visits. These were handled with quiet determination, no panic, simply gentle, methodical adaptation. The evening fire served as the social heart of the community, a place to gather, eat, and reflect. Its gentle flames provided comfort, security, and a sense of unity. The quiet pride in maintaining it and the shelters surrounding it reinforced bonds, symbolizing communal strength and cooperation. Together, fire and shelter formed the foundation of Paleolithic existence. These calm yet continuous tasks embodied the careful balance between nature and survival, each day gently reaffirming the tribe's resilience, adaptability, and quiet determination to thrive amid simplicity. Parenting in the Paleolithic era was both simple and challenging. Without modern conveniences, each child required constant vigilance and patient guidance. From their earliest moments, children were integrated into every aspect of community life, learning through gentle observation and imitation. Birth was a communal event, supported by experienced caregivers. Newborns were warmly swaddled in animal hides or soft plant fibers, their arrival celebrated quietly yet profoundly. From infancy onward, mothers breastfed for several years, providing essential nutrients and comfort in a world without formula or baby food. Toddlers, naturally curious and adventurous, explored their surroundings under watchful eyes. Ryan, in his endless enthusiasm, would often wander slightly further than advisable, always gently redirected by attentive parents or elders. Discipline was straightforward and practical. with safety as the highest priority. Simple instructions like staying close or avoiding the fire were communicated firmly yet kindly, reinforced consistently through patient repetition. Children learned through play. Games mimic adult activities, preparing them for future roles within the tribe. Small sticks became spears, stones were imaginary tools, and leaves transformed into building materials. Play was both fun and functional, helping children develop vital survival skills. Older children gradually took on responsibilities, assisting with gathering kindling, fetching water, or watching younger siblings. These tasks provided practical life lessons, gently teaching teamwork, responsibility, and careful observation of their environment. Khaby Lame might silently demonstrate practical skills to children, using exaggerated gestures to humorously illustrate correct techniques. His non-verbal communication provided clear, effective instruction, appreciated by both children and adults alike. Evenings around the fire were special for families, with Markiplier's calming voice often narrating gentle stories or educational tales. These narratives helped children understand their world, weaving lessons into enjoyable, memorable experiences. PewDiePie would add whimsical illustrations to cave walls, capturing playful childhood moments, preserving these simple joys for future generations. Despite harsh conditions, parenting was characterized by quiet tenderness and consistent care. Adults patiently nurtured curiosity and resilience, calmly preparing each child for survival and community contribution. Through gentle guidance, play, and loving attention, Paleolithic parents cultivated strong, capable individuals, ready to face life's daily challenges. Part 10. As the day's tasks wrapped up and twilight gently settled, Paleolithic communities came together around the warmth and security of the communal fire. This was their time to relax, unwind, and quietly reconnect, reflecting on the day's accomplishments and challenges. Evenings held a special place in their daily rhythm, transforming the fireside into the heart of social life. Food, when available, was shared communally. Small successes from the day's hunt or gathering were celebrated modestly yet sincerely. MrBeast might quietly ensure everyone received their fair share, nurturing a spirit of harmony and togetherness. Storytelling played a significant role in Paleolithic evenings, serving not just as entertainment, but also as a way to preserve knowledge, culture, and community values. Markiplier, with his soothing and engaging voice, was often the storyteller, gently capturing the group's attention as he recounted tales of legendary hunts, humorous mishaps, or meaningful ancestral wisdom. PewDiePie contributed through his art, adding playful and humorous illustrations to cave walls, capturing the essence of these nightly stories and moments. His sketches were both entertaining and instructive, ensuring these narratives would endure through generations. Music and rhythmic activities complemented storytelling. Simple instruments like bone flutes, drums made from hollow logs, or even rhythmic clapping created calming and engaging sounds. The subtle music provided a soothing backdrop, encouraging relaxation and gentle reflection. Laughter and camaraderie characterized these evenings, sharing amusing stories about daily life, such as misadventures during hunting or gathering, helped to relieve stress and foster strong community bonds. Khaby Lame, with his expressive gestures, humorously illustrated the day's funniest moments without needing a single word, earning quiet chuckles from everyone present. Children eagerly listened, absorbing lessons disguised as entertainment, preparing them subtly and effectively for adult responsibilities. Ryan's eyes would sparkle with curiosity and delight, absorbing every word and gesture, gradually becoming familiar with the tribe's history, skills, and values. These nightly gatherings reinforced social cohesion, emotional bonds, and community resilience. They provided much-needed downtime after a day filled with physical labor and survival challenges, gently reminding each tribe member of their importance within the larger group. As the flames flickered lower and eyelids grew heavier, the storytelling would slowly fade into quiet conversations or reflective silence. It was a calm, comforting conclusion to the day, gently preparing everyone for the restful sleep needed to greet the challenges and opportunities of tomorrow. Romance in the Paleolithic era might not have involved roses or fancy dinners, but subtle and meaningful gestures of affection quietly shaped relationships. Living closely within small groups, companionship was practical, born out of mutual respect, cooperation, and gentle companionship, rather than grand romantic gestures. The initial spark often came from shared experiences, perhaps an effective hunting partnership or successful teamwork while building shelters. Subtle actions spoke louder than words. A carefully offered portion of food or gentle assistance with daily chores quietly signaled growing affection. Communication was simple, sincere, and direct. There was no room for grandiose declarations, only practical, meaningful expressions of care. MrBeast might quietly encourage fair sharing of resources, subtly supporting budding relationships within the group, reinforcing community bonds. PewDiePie could gently capture these subtle romances through humorous and warm-hearted cave drawings, depicting moments like two individuals quietly sharing food or helping one another with daily tasks. His illustrations celebrated these understated yet genuine connections, preserving them in playful, lasting imagery. Quiet gestures of affection were central to relationships, each action reflecting mutual support and understanding. Couples often shared responsibilities, whether foraging together, maintaining shelters, or nurturing children. Their teamwork fostered emotional closeness, building lasting bonds through practical collaboration. Khaby Lame's humorous, silent guidance often showcased affectionate partnerships, humorously yet warmly, highlighting how couples efficiently tackled tasks together without elaborate conversation. His exaggerated gestures subtly reinforced the value of clear communication and mutual support within relationships. Evenings around the communal fire provided intimate moments for couples to quietly reconnect after the day's activities. Markiplier's soothing stories occasionally included gentle, understated narratives of companionship and partnership, subtly reinforcing the importance of strong relationships. Relationships, though formed simply and practically, were essential to survival. They provided emotional support, shared responsibilities, and strengthened the community. Couples quietly navigated life's challenges together, their relationships grounded in mutual respect and gentle affection. Cavemen romance wasn't grand or dramatic, but its simplicity carried profound meaning. Quiet acts of kindness, Subtle cooperation and mutual support created deep, enduring bonds. These understated connections gently strengthened the community, reinforcing the notion that love, even in its simplest form, was essential to thriving in the Paleolithic world. Art in the Paleolithic era wasn't just about decoration. It was a profound means of expression, storytelling, and community bonding. Despite their challenging lives, early humans found time to create intricate and meaningful art on cave walls, carefully chosen stones, and even tools. PewDiePie, in our fictional scenario, might have been the group's resident artist, gently capturing daily life through humorous and imaginative cave paintings. His artwork could depict everything from humorous mishaps during hunts to peaceful gatherings around the fire. These visuals were not merely amusing, but served as vital cultural records, capturing significant moments and passing down stories across generations. Artistic materials were simple, yet effective. Natural pigments such as charcoal, ochre, and crushed minerals, mixed with water or animal fat, provided a versatile palette. Brushes were rudimentary, crafted from sticks, animal hairs, or even hands and fingers. Despite the simplicity, the results were strikingly expressive, vibrant, and enduring. Creating art was likely a collaborative and social activity, uniting tribe members through shared efforts and creativity. Children, such as Ryan, would enthusiastically participate, learning from adults, their contributions fostering a sense of belonging and continuity. Khaby Lame might humorously yet clearly demonstrate painting techniques silently, helping beginners understand without words, his exaggerated gestures communicating essential tips and tricks. These humorous lessons provided practical guidance, making art approachable and enjoyable for everyone. Cave paintings were not merely decorative, they carried deeper meanings and functions. Scenes depicting animals or successful hunts might have been intended as rituals to ensure future hunting success. Reflecting early human beliefs in symbolic representation and the power of visual storytelling, art also provided emotional and psychological benefits. The calming process of creating art offered a much-needed respite from daily survival tasks. It allowed individuals to reflect, communicate complex ideas, and express personal and collective identities. Evenings often saw Markiplier gently narrating stories inspired by these visual artworks, his calming voice adding layers of depth and understanding to the visuals around them. These narratives enriched community connections, reinforcing shared values, memories, and aspirations. Through their quiet creativity, Paleolithic people left behind lasting legacies, gently reminding us of their humanity and ingenuity. Their art, preserved through millennia, speaks softly yet profoundly, connecting us intimately to their daily lives and experiences, bridging the gap between ancient and modern worlds with timeless beauty and simplicity. Healthcare in the Paleolithic era was a careful blend of practicality, intuition, and quiet innovation. With no hospitals or modern medicine, early humans relied heavily on their surroundings, instinct, and communal knowledge to treat illnesses and injuries. Minor injuries were common given the daily demands of hunting, gathering, and shelter building. Cuts and scrapes were treated simply yet effectively. Wounds cleaned with water, wrapped carefully in leaves or animal hides, sometimes sealed with natural antiseptics derived from medicinal plants. Khaby Lame would humorously but clearly demonstrate these basic first aid methods without words, gently correcting misconceptions or inefficient techniques through his expressive gestures, ensuring practical knowledge was shared effectively. Fractures and sprains, although serious, were managed with supportive splints made from sticks and bindings of animal sinew or plant fibers. The community provided calm, patient support, ensuring rest and recovery. Markiplier's reassuring presence might provide emotional comfort, offering gentle words of encouragement, making healing a communal effort. Natural remedies were integral to Paleolithic medicine. Plants known for their medicinal properties were collected, prepared, and administered with quiet confidence. Herbs like willow bark, containing natural pain-relieving substances, were chewed or steeped into teas. Ryan, always eager to learn, might assist in gathering these plants, gaining vital knowledge through gentle guidance from elders. Dental care was another essential aspect. Chewing fibrous sticks or animal bones served as a primitive toothbrush, maintaining oral health and preventing discomfort. PewDiePie could humorously illustrate these rituals through cave art, capturing amusing yet educational depictions of daily dental routines. Infection posed the most significant risk to early humans. Without antibiotics, careful hygiene and attentive wound management were crucial. Community members relied heavily on observation and shared experiences to treat infections effectively, quietly supporting each other's recovery. Spiritual healing played a complementary role, intertwining physical health with emotional and spiritual well-being. Rituals involving chanting, rhythmic movements, or symbolic acts provided psychological comfort, strengthening resilience. Markiplier might gently narrate calming rituals or stories that reinforced a sense of hope and communal strength. Primitive medicine, although limited by modern standards, was highly adaptive and intuitive. Early humans demonstrated remarkable ingenuity in managing their health, quietly blending practical treatments with communal support. Their calm resilience, shared wisdom, and quiet compassion provided effective health care, reinforcing the strength and unity of Paleolithic communities. Travel in the Paleolithic era wasn't about luxury or leisure, but rather necessity and practicality. Without wheels, roads, or vehicles, mobility meant moving slowly, deliberately, and often over challenging terrain on foot. Yet, despite these limitations, early humans covered impressive distances, quietly driven by survival needs and the human instinct to explore. Each journey required thoughtful preparation. Everything, tools, food, fire-starting materials, and even children, had to be carried carefully. Bags crafted from animal hides or woven reeds made efficient backpacks. Raya, ever curious and eager, would enthusiastically pack small finds, gently encouraged to choose practicality over fascination by more experienced travelers. Routes weren't mapped out neatly. Instead, they relied heavily on landmarks, natural markers, and ancestral knowledge passed quietly from generation to generation. Navigating required keen observational skills, remembering distinctive rocks, recognizing animal trails, and understanding subtle shifts in terrain. Marki's calming presence might guide the group, his reassuring voice maintaining morale and encouraging steady progress. Travel posed genuine risks. from unpredictable weather to encounters with wildlife. However, Paleolithic groups tackled these challenges calmly, prepared for adaptability and quick thinking. Khaby Lame might silently demonstrate effective ways to cross difficult terrain or handle unexpected obstacles, his expressive gestures offering clear, humorous yet practical solutions. Nightfall demanded careful campsite selection. Shelter was quickly constructed from available resources, ensuring safety and comfort. MrBeast might oversee these efforts quietly, ensuring everyone's well-being and fair distribution of tasks, fostering unity and cooperation within the group. Despite the hardships, travel also brought quiet joy and discovery. New landscapes, potential food sources, and interactions with other groups expanded knowledge and experience. PewDiePie could humorously capture these journeys through sketches, illustrating both the difficulties and the humor of travel experiences. The quiet perseverance required by such journeys shaped resilience, community bonds, and adaptability. Each trek was an exercise in endurance, practicality, and teamwork, reinforcing collective strength and interdependence. Travel and mobility in the Paleolithic era illustrate early human determination, ingenuity, and curiosity. These quiet yet profound journeys expanded their worlds physically and culturally, creating a rich tapestry of experiences. Their calm, steady movements remind us gently of the inherent human drive to explore, adapt, and connect, overcoming challenges one careful step at a time. Part 15. And now, as the fire dims and the stars rise quietly above the prehistoric camp, we bring our gentle journey to a close. The life of a Paleolithic human was, in many ways, far more eventful and complex than we often imagine. It wasn't just a time of survival. It was a rhythm of daily rituals, quiet innovation, and deep connection. From morning routines around the fire to careful foraging, tool-making, shared stories, and even prehistoric romance. Every task, no matter how simple, carried purpose and meaning. These people worked together, adapted with grace, and faced the unknown with quiet resolve. They found joy in creativity, strength in unity, and wisdom in their natural world. Even the smallest gestures, a helping hand, a shared meal, a story told by firelight, held significance. Whether navigating wild terrain, soothing an injured child, or silently teaching a skill, their days were filled with small, steady moments that shaped the course of human history. Our fictional tribe, with MrBeast ensuring fairness, PewDiePie capturing comedy on cave walls, Markiplier weaving soothing narratives, Dude Perfect impressing with precision hunting, Ryan eagerly exploring, and Khaby Lame offering silent but perfect solutions, reminds us that humor, cooperation, and curiosity are timeless qualities. They echo across millennia, linking us to those early ancestors more closely than we might expect. As you settle in for sleep tonight, perhaps you'll carry a bit of that calm, ancient wisdom with you. The resilience of those early humans, their ability to find stability in the unpredictable, and their capacity to connect and care without words. All of it speaks softly but powerfully to who we are today. So rest easy, knowing that the story of humanity began not in chaos, but in quiet perseverance. And while we may live in a vastly different world, the essence of our daily lives, our desire for comfort, companionship, and a place to belong, remains beautifully unchanged. Thank you for joining me on this gentle trip through time. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed tonight's story. And as always, let me know where you're listening from and what time you're drifting off. Until next time, sleep well and dream gently of flint, firelight, and peaceful prehistoric nights.